Hello there viewers, and welcome back to another video today here on Gracious Motorsports. So today you join us for the feature race from round 1 of the Midway Racing League Season 2. So we are here then at the Red Bull Ring. This is following on from yesterday's video. Anyone who hasn't watched that video, check it out now, should be appearing up in the top right. So yeah, round 2 then, just doing a little bit of a practice start here by the way. Well, first of all realising that we do need traction control for the launch here at the Red Bull Ring, and second of all just working out where to brake for turn 1. So for this race we're going to be starting in P7 as a result of our not very good performance back in the sprint race. So what happened with the sprint race, for those that didn't watch it, is well, we didn't qualify because we tried to set a qualifying lap, made a hash of it, and then didn't get round in time to do the second qualifying lap, and then in the race we only finished in 7th. So as a result we're going to be starting in P7 then for this race. Now a few people to take note of as we go the wrong way around the circuit and drive through Dimitar there. Few people to take note of. JJ Hype is one of them. So you can see at the moment he's in 10th on the leaderboard on the left hand side. Now JJ, very quick driver, like seriously quick. This was his first race in the top lobby in MRL, and he's got 65,000 DR driver rating, so he's a very quick driver. Yeah, definitely one to take note of here. And so the race is about to get underway. So Red Bull Ring then, race is 30 laps long, so just over 75 miles, and the multipliers are times 3 times 3, so times 3 fuel and times 3 tyre wear. Result of that being that this should be a one stop, but there is going to be a little bit of fuel saving necessary to be able to make the one stop work. So as we load up the grid here, we've got Ryan starting on pole position courtesy of his sprint race win, got Kelvin starting in second, got JJ in third, Jake in fourth, you've got the Ancient Plug in front of us in P5, and then you've got Fun Anywhere, who's another debutant as well, starting in P6, so he's doing well on his debut to qualify in 6th. So as we've got 3 lights, 4 lights and 5 lights, and away we go. As well, this Porsche doesn't really do standing starts. Looks to me it's not as bad as the Supra in front of us, admittedly, as we are overtaking the Ancient Plug bit. But yeah, didn't get a great start there. Braking at the 50-metre ball for turn 1, and unfortunately Martin Jukov gives the Ancient Plug a little bit of a punt there. I watched the replay back afterwards, and yeah, Martin just braked too late, to be honest. Yeah, he braked after the 50-metre boards and sent the Ancient Plug flying off wide, so he made up a position there. As a result, we're now up to P6, defending into the hairpin, making sure no one's going to dive bomb us. And if we check out the radar, yeah, all clear, and we've actually got a number of cars off in front of us. So are we going to be able to capitalise on this in front of us? We've got the Fun Anywhere, a bit off on the grass there. Are we going to be able to overtake any of these people down into turn 3? We are within range of going for a move, so we're going to slam the brakes on, and oosh, we gave Fun Anywhere a bit of a pump there, so apologies for that. I was looking to go for the move, but he moved over to the right, and yeah, I didn't react to it, to be honest. I still tried going for the move, even though he blocked it off, so my bad there. So we're in P6 then, as we are on the first lap of the race, giving Fun Anywhere a little bit of a tap there. Yeah, sorry for that, I was just kind of taking the corner normally and accidentally ended up tapping you. And again, yeah, I'm not trying to go for moves here or anything, I'm just driving, and yeah, accidentally clipping the back of him through these corners. I think Fun Anywhere, he was struggling in general through that infield section, through that turn 4-5 complex, as he's missed his apex again once more. The V12 advantage that he's driving in front of us, not a good handling car. Great on the straights, not very good through the corners. So yeah, he is struggling here, as we can see. As we end that one then, we're still in P6, so we've made up one position then compared to where we started. It's a long race, so it's not the end of the world, as we give Fun Anywhere another tap. So yeah, apologies for that, but I am getting quite frustrated here, because you can see the gap that has emerged between ourselves and P4 in front of us. So obviously we were all together just a couple of corners ago, and now we're about, what, a second behind. So yeah, going around the outside then into the hairpin, are we going to be able to pull that move off? We're now side by side on the exit of the hairpin, and you know what? We managed to pull it off. How did we do that? We were on the outside going into the hairpin. You should never be able to go around the outside of someone around a hairpin of all corners. So yeah, managed to make that move stick there. He's now looking up our inside into turn 3. Little bit of contact there. Yeah, that's rubbing his racing. Nobody particularly in the wrong there. Going down to turn 4 then, are we going to be able to get back past him? Oh, we are. Oh, that was a bit aggressive from us there. Yeah, well, was that were we in the wrong then? I think we may have been a little bit overly ambitious there, going for the move, but well, we managed to make the move stick. At this point in time, I was getting a bit frustrated because, yeah, those guys in front, look, they're now 1.4 seconds in front of us, and yeah, we can't afford to lose 1.4 seconds. We've really got to get our foot down here. So yeah, fortunately the guys in front, they are scrapping, so you can see Kelvin's off the circuit there and with the penalty, so that was not a good section of corners for him there as we come to the start of lap 3. This 911, really good on fuel and really good on tyres and really good through the corners too. Only problem is, no good at the standing starts as we saw, and it's no good on the straights, so we are going to be vulnerable to getting overtaken on the straights, and it's going to make it difficult to overtake people as well. But getting a run on Kelvin now, going down to the hairpin, are we going to think about going for an overtake? We're going to go to the right, and yes we are. So actually Kelvin decided to sort of serve his penalty there and back out of that, so we have managed to make that move stick then. We're now up to P4, so made up 3 positions then in this first 2 and a bit laps. Half a lap later, we've actually managed to break away from the guys behind, so you can see the gap now to fun anywhere behind us is 0.9 seconds, so we have managed to break the slipstream to them. Coming down to turn 1 then, breaking at the 100 metre board, and we've accidentally cut the corner a little bit too much, and well, we've got ourselves a half-second penalty, which is a little bit frustrating. Coming down towards the hairpin now, we are almost in the slipstream range of the guys in front of us. We are so nearly within range, as yeah, we braked slightly early just to get rid of that penalty. And check out the radar, as well, that penalty, that saved our bacon, to be honest. As fun anyway, well, he braked way too late for that corner there, not quite sure why. Maybe he got caught out by the slipstream, but he came flying into that hairpin then and actually went through us. You couldn't really see it there from the onboard, but yeah, he went clean through us there. Fortunately, we were already ghosting due to that penalty, but yeah, Ocean got wiped out of the race there. 5 laps later, well, the gap to the guys in front is still exactly the same as it was. Yeah, this first stint of the race, basically the whole of the first stint, was an infuriating stint, to be honest, because I was so close to getting into the slipstream of the guys in front on so many occasions. On so many occasions the gap went down to 9 tenths, 8 tenths, but never quite got into that magical suck zone, as Super GT calls it. After 7 more infuriating laps of us not quite being able to catch up the guys in front, it's now time for us to make our one and only stop of the race. So tyres at this point, as you can see down in the bottom left, they're not too bad. They're not great, but they're not in too bad a condition either. So pulling into the pits in, we've got 4% of a tank remaining, so we're going to change the tyres then, and well, not quite fill the tank. To do these last 14 laps, you don't need a full tank. We're going to put it up to about 90%. Now, that's all you need really to get to the end flat out. Actually, JJ has pulled into the pits with 14% of a tank still left, so he has done really well on his fuel. He was basically spending the whole of that stint behind Jake saving fuel, so Jake's only got 2% of a tank left, whereas JJ's got 14%. So yeah, JJ's done a very good job on fuel during that first stint, did a really good job fuel saving in the 911. So filling the tank up then, filling up to, yeah, like I said, around about 90%. Where are we going to be when we come out of the pits? So JJ's under fuel significantly. He's only put 78% of a tank in, so that is brave by JJ to do 14 laps and only 78% of a tank. That is brave by him. We meanwhile, like I said, put 90% in, and Jake's put 88% in himself. So me and Jake will pretty much be going flat out to the end, whereas JJ is not going to be. So that is going to be interesting though. We've got JJ, you can see him in P5 at the moment, coming out the hairpin. He's quite way in front of us, to be honest. I'm surprised just how much he's managed to jump us in the pits there. He's, yeah, right off into the distance. A couple of laps later, we've actually managed to catch up Jake somewhat. So the gap when we exited the pit lane was, I think, just over 1.5 seconds, whereas now as we enter the final corner, we actually are within the slipstream range. So we've managed to half the gap to Jake then, and yeah, we are getting reasonably close to him. So coming across the start finish line then, going to set a 1:27.8, which is 0.029 seconds off the fastest lap of the race, and Ryan actually set the fastest lap of the race on that very same lap. So as I came across the start finish line, did the 1:27.8, I thought, oh yeah, fastest lap, thank you, nice bonus points for me. Nah, Ryan, turns out Ryan 5 seconds beforehand set pretty much the exact same lap time and just just about got the points off of us. They're coming into the hairpin now. We're not quite within the slipstream range of Jake, and we've actually clobbered the sausage curve through that hairpin there, and that screwed us over. If it wasn't for hitting that sausage curve, we would have been firmly within the slipstream range now going down this straight, but unfortunately that ever so slight mistake, which was braked slightly too early, it's now cost us and we aren't within the slipstream range. Now what a common theme that you'll notice throughout the rest of this race is that basically Jake in the Nissan GTR, he was so quick on the straights, and I was catching him through the corners, so you can see for this section here I'm at least keeping up with him, if not catching up. But every time he got to the start finish straight, and then the bit after that and the bit after that, he was just pulling away so much. It was so infuriating. This is why I don't like driving, handling cars basically. I always like to pick fast cars with good power, because it makes overtaking and catching people up so much easier. 3 laps later, we're now on lap 25 of the race, and we are well within the slipstream range now of Jake in front, so we're only 4 tenths behind him. And as he comes out of turn 3 here, have a look. So Jake, well, he kind of lost it on that exit curve there. It is quite slippery, that curve. I think it's got quite a lot of dirt and dust on it, and yeah, Jake's managed to lose the back end. Then coming out of turn 3, we're now right behind him now, coming through turns 4 and 5, and well, we've nearly gone into the back of him there through turn 5, but well, because of that, Jake managed to get a good exit, so I kind of had to check up a bit on the like the apex of the corner. Kind of had to lift off a bit to make sure I didn't go into the back of him, which has enabled him to pull away from me a little bit out of turn 6. Nearly went into the back of him again there, into turn 7, and now into turn 8. We are right behind him, so we are thinking about going for a move at this point of the race. We've got 5 laps remaining, so well, we need to get past reasonably soon, to be honest. There isn't all that much of the race remaining. Coming down into turn 1 then, we are really close behind to him. We're less than a car length behind, and he's just lost the back end there coming out of turn 1 and picked himself up a half-second penalty. I think he cut turn 1 a little bit too much there. Took the sausage curve, and that's what spat him off. So coming down to turn 2 then, are we going to be able to capitalise on the ghosting into this hairpin section? Yes, we are. So we make a very sneaky overtake there, as well, we basically rely on the ghosting system to get past, as yeah, we just basically drove straight through him as he served his penalty. Going down to turn 3 then, we've got Jake side by side with us, using the superior power of the not the 911, the GT3, sorry, to pull alongside us, but no, managed to fend him off, managed to keep him at bay. He wasn't going to go round our right side there. He wasn't going to do an Alex Albon overtake on us like Albon tried doing in Hamilton. That was not going to happen, Jake. Thank you very much. Now, one thing I'd like to point out is the gap to the leader. So on the end of, end of lap 2, after we'd got away from Fun Anywhere, we were 5.5 seconds behind Ryan. Well, the gap to the leader now, the gap to Ryan is only 5.1 seconds. So we managed to keep up with Ryan then over the course of the rest of this race, which shows that had we started at the front, we maybe could have won the race. But coming through his final corners then, we've still got Jake right behind us. We've not managed to drop him whatsoever through that infield section, and he quite literally was on our butt bumper there coming out the final corner. Going to have to go defensive here into turn 1. We are not throwing away P3, thank you very much. It's taken so long to get past him. Yeah, do not want to be throwing away 3rd if we can help it, and yeah, managed to fend him off there into turn 1. We did run a bit wide though coming out of turn 1 there. Are we going to pick up a penalty for that? Yes, we are. So just slightly too wide coming out of the first corner then. Yeah, went a bit too far over the sausage curve. Both of us got penalties for our troubles. Slamming on the brakes then for the hairpin. We've gone a little bit too deep there, and well, Jake ever so nearly went into the back of us on the apex of that hairpin, but we have actually managed to get away from him here, so the gap's now gone up to 7 tenths, as yeah, I think Jake got a bit put off by us braking a bit late for that hairpin there, ended up checking him up a little bit, so the gap now, it's yo-yoing, what is it now, 7 tenths? Oh, we've actually managed to gap him now. We've managed to break the slipstream range, so we're 9 tenths ahead of him now as we make our way into turn 4, so yeah, that is looking good for us now. But well, we got a little bit overly excited there coming out of turn 4. We've actually dipped a wheel into the gravel trap, and well, we've made the same mistake again. We've again run wide coming out of turn 5. Yeah, we've got dirty tyres coming out of turn 4, and that's now screwed us over for these next few corners. Coming into the turn 7 now, again running wide. We've got dirty tyres, and we're not taking that into account. Coming into the final corner, once more we have run wide, so we have completely bottled our advantage there. we were out of the slipstream range of Jake there, and then made a complete hash of the second half of that lap, and Jake has now managed to make his way past, and we've now gone into the back of him of turn 1, and we've got a 2.2 second penalty. So that was a total disaster then. Yeah, that is a lesson in what not to do when you see that you've broken the slipstream to someone. Don't then go and mess up the next like 4 corners. To try and take those corners quite well, because yeah, we're now behind him, and we've just hit that sausage curve through the hairpin. We're behind him with a 1.8 second penalty. Going to be really difficult to get back past now due to the Porsche's lack of straight line speed, so that is a big issue for us. And well, as we move ahead to the final lap of the race, we actually continue to drive really quite badly. If you have a look at the lap times on the right, on the lap, well, up until lap 27 we were doing consistent low 128s, and then on these final few laps we've done a 1 minute 30.0, a 129.8 and a 128.9, so we really have not done very well on these final few laps. Coming out of the final corner now, Jake is actually serving his penalty really very early there, but yeah, didn't quite manage to get past him. Yeah, Jake backed off way too soon, to be honest, coming out of that final corner. He should have braked a lot later. We nearly did get past him there, but didn't quite beat him. So coming home in P4 then, Ryan ended up taking the victory just about ahead of Johnny, so he ended up winning the race by 1.5 seconds. Johnny did such a good job on his fuel, bearing in mind he had 10% or 12% less than us at the start of that stint to pull away from us and finish only 1.5 seconds off the win. He did a really good job. Ended up Jake finishing third, of course, with us in fourth. We lost so much time on those last few laps. We lost about 4 seconds to Ryan at the end there, so we really did drive very badly. Dimitar came home in P5, so he did a really good job to recover from the sprint race where he finished way down the order. He finished down at like 12th or something, so did a really good job then to recover to 5th. You got Adam Tabron in 6th, Sean Pretty in 7th, John Hardy in 8th, you got Diman Ivanov in 9th, and then you got Fun Anywhere on his debut finishing in P10, Martin Jekov in 11th, Zohair Ali in 12th, and then you got Kelvin Gomasul and you've got the Ancient Pleb, both of whom had technical issues. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching that video. Also, just before I do that, here's the championship standings. They're basically just the results of the feature race, and that's basically what it is. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching that video. Next up, we're not going to be doing MRL. Well, we are going to be doing an MRL video next, but not from the Group 3 series. So we do run other series in MRL, so I'm going to show you the highlights from a new series that has just begun. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that video. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you then. So goodbye.